guys, welcome back. This week we are going to share one of my favorite EdTech tools, Flipgrid.
Getting started with Flipgrid really could not be any easier. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk you through the 3 basic types of grids and show you just how easy it is to get started in your room.
To get started, tap or click the New Grid button. Once you do, there's a few different options that pop up. For your grid, you can choose from a school email domain, a student ID list, or a PLC and public grid. Let's talk about what each of those mean. The first option is a school email domain. If your students are using a Google or Microsoft school email address, then this is the option for you. It provides a quick and easy access to your grid simply by using what they're already familiar with. However, if your students are younger, maybe they don't have something like that, you might want to go with the student ID list. This will generate a QR code for the students to scan to enter your grid. You can also give them an identifier that they can use to access it as well. Last but not least, we have the PLC and public grids. This is one that you would use if you were working with a team or possibly sharing it amongst the school, maybe exchanging ideas with adults. Regardless of which one of these options you pick, the setup is pretty much the same. So we're going to go with the student ID list for our example because that's probably the most commonly used option. First, what you'll want to do is you'll want to name your grid. For our purpose today, we'll call it testing 1, 2, 3. Now, this flip code here is what your students could use to log on. However, you can actually customize this to something that is just for you. Perhaps maybe your last name. If you're not comfortable with that, you can leave it the same. And then last but certainly not least, you'll want to pick something to personalize your grid. This will be the top of the header. You can also upload your own. For our purpose, we'll just leave it at that. Hit next. Now it's time for you to upload your student ID list. You can upload a CSV file if you have access to one of those. They even offer a template for you to get started. Or you can simply do it by just entering in the students one by one. So here we're going to enter in 1 student. Now you'll notice that right here there's an identifier. Identifiers have to be 2 or more characters. And I suggest doing something if you have a lunch number for your students or maybe even their birth date, and then just simply hit add student. So we'll just do 0310 and hit add student. Now, once you hit next, all of your students are entered, and then you have the option to print a QR code, and then this is what Johnny would then use to log on. This could be used, or he can also just use his student ID, which is the 0310, and that also could be entered to get him on, to get him going.
One of my favorite features of Flipgrid, especially if you are just getting started, is the Disco Library. If you go to the Disco Library, there you can find lessons already made by teachers just like yourself that you can click on and drop right into your own grid. You can search these lessons by subject area, maybe grade level, content. The sky's the limit. And when you go through and look through these lessons, even if you don't necessarily take one of the lessons that's there, they give you a plethora of ideas of how to use Flipgrid in your own classroom.
Make sure to subscribe and tune in to our next episode as we will continue discussing Flipgrid, but we're going to dive a little bit deeper and share with you some more advanced ways that you can use it into your classroom.